A very good morning, dear students, and welcome to our economics class. Today we will do with the chapter 2, and today we will see lecture 3 of chapter 2, which goes as the consumer's equilibrium. Dear students, I had explained this very concept of equilibrium in some of my previous class. Here what I want to say, here we will see what is consumer's equilibrium, how a consumer achieves his equilibrium. The simple thing that you have to keep in your mind that consumer's equilibrium means maximization of satisfaction of a consumer. Now, a consumer has got limited amount of money income, which he spends on commodity or commodities in order to obtain utility or satisfaction. So by spending his money, by spending his limited income, the consumer is obtaining some amount of satisfaction. So the money he is just investing, he is spending, and in return he is getting the satisfaction. A balance between this spending and the satisfaction obtained is known as a position of consumer's equilibrium. Our consumer has got a limited amount of money income. Now the thing is how our consumer will spend his limited income over the consumption of a commodity that he will get maximum satisfaction. And once that point of satisfaction, point of maximum satisfaction is reached by our consumer, our rational consumer will not ready to change that state. That means he want to prefer in that very state only. So this is known as the consumer's equilibrium. Here in this class, in this lecture, we will see the consumer's equilibrium in case of one commodity only. That means we are supposing that consumer is consuming a commodity by spending his limited money income. And what is that point where the consumer will say, that's all, I am done with, my satisfaction is maximum. And that very point where our consumer says so, that is the point of equilibrium, that is the point of maximum satisfaction of our consumer. Here goes, I had written first, dear students, take a screenshot of my writing so that you can refer to this for revision while you are going through the book. You take it, you write it in your fair copy, it will work as a note of you. Just try to understand the concept that I have written over here. Consumer's equilibrium refers to a situation. That means equilibrium means it is a situation in which a consumer spends his income on purchase of a commodity. We are studying the consumer's equilibrium in case of one commodity we are going to study. So, purchase a commodity in such a way that it gives him maximum satisfaction. After this, he will not willing to change his behavior. That means once his satisfaction is maximum, once our consumer reaches the equilibrium, he will not further want to consume more of that commodity because satiety point is reached. Now see, what is in case of single commodity, what is the condition of equilibrium? That means what condition to be fulfilled when a consumer achieves his equilibrium? A consumer attains his equilibrium, or synonymously we can say maximizes his satisfaction. So two words, attains his equilibrium or maximizes his satisfaction with his limited money income at that point of consumption of a commodity when marginal utility of that unit of the commodity expressed in terms of money is equal to its price. Let me explain this very concept. A lot of things are there. We are studying the cardinal utility approach or the Marshallian utility analysis, where we assume that utility is cardinally measurable. Suppose you are thirsty. It is a month of summer season. It is a summer season. You go to the marketplace. You purchase a bottle of cold drink. That bottle of cold drink costs you rupees 10. You give 10 rupees to the shopkeeper. The shopkeeper gave you a bottle of cold drink. You drank it. You got some amount of satisfaction by spending rupees 10. Suppose your thirst is not quenched completely. You will take the second bottle of cold drink. Again you are giving 10 units of satisfaction. You are giving 10 rupees. And in return, you are getting some units of satisfaction. So what we are finding? We are finding that in order to obtain the satisfaction or utility, you have to spend money in terms of rupees. And in return, you are getting something in terms of utils. This rupees and utils are in two different units and they are not directly comparable. So 10 rupees you are giving. How much you are obtaining? You are obtaining say 20 utils. Now what is that money value of that 20 rupees? That you have to find out. Because simply you are spending 10 rupees. By spending 10 rupees, suppose you are obtaining 15 or 20 utils from the first bottle. You know, we have done with the LDMU. There I said that when you will consume the second, your thirst is not completely quenched, so you will take the second bottle of cold drink. The second bottle of cold drink will give you the utility which will be lesser than the first bottle of utility. Marginal utility will be lesser than the marginal utility of the first bottle. We have seen it. Marshallian in LDMU, law of diminishing marginal utility. Now the thing is, so for the first bottle of cold drinks you are paying 10 rupees and you got 20 utils. That is the marginal utility of the first bottle. You took the second bottle of cold drink. It is giving you 15 utils of satisfaction. But what is the basic relation? We cannot compare the rupees and utils directly. In order to do so, we have to convert that utils in terms of rupees. And in order to convert utils into rupees, Marshallian utility analysis or Marshall has supposed that the marginal utility of money is remaining constant and given. Constancy of the marginal utility of money, it means, what is the meaning of marginal utility of money? Marginal utility of money means marginal utility of 1 rupee. That means, suppose marginal utility of money is 10 utils. That means if you are giving 1 rupee to someone, you are losing 10 utils. If you are getting 1 rupee from someone, you are obtaining 10 utils. If you are giving 2 rupees to someone, you are losing 20 utils. If you are obtaining 5 rupees from someone, you are obtaining 50 utils. So, according to Marshallian utility analysis, this marginal utility of money is said to be given and constant, and on this light, we will try to analyze, we will try to establish a relationship between your spending and the satisfaction that a consumer is having. So that's why we say a consumer attains his equilibrium or maximizes his satisfaction with his limited money income at that point of consumption of the commodity. 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit, 1 bottle, 2 bottle, 3 bottle, 4 bottle, 5 bottle, where he will stop. When marginal utility of that unit of the commodity expressed in terms of money, because marginal utility we know that it is not expressed in money, rather it is expressed directly in utils. But if that marginal utility, any way or the other, it can be expressed in terms of money, then we can compare, we can see the relationship between the money spent and the utility obtained directly, because in that case utility will be measured in rupees term, and the spending that you are doing, that will also take in the rupees term. In terms of money is equal to its price, that is MUX by MUM. Now this MUX means marginal utility of commodity X in utils, and this MUM means constant marginal utility of money according to Marshall. It is given and constant. So whenever the utils is divided by MUM, marginal utility of money, it converts into money terms. That means marginal utility is converted into rupees term. Usually marginal utility or total utility, this will come in the cardinal utility approach in terms of utils. But when you will divide that by the denominator of constant marginal utility of money, what you will find that marginal utility of commodity X expressed in terms of money. With the help, when we will see the schedule and the diagram, the concept will be completely clear to you, dear students. Now we will see it. Now our assumptions, in order to understand the consumer's equilibrium in case of one commodity, we have to assume certain assumptions are there. Our consumer is a rational consumer. He is a rational human being. What is the meaning of rational? Rational means he is having a limited amount of income and he wants to spend his income most economically. He will want to spend his limited income over unlimited wants so that he can obtain maximum satisfaction. He cannot misuse his limited money income. So our consumer is rational, whose objective is to maximize the satisfaction. Money income to spend is limited with the consumer. Definitely his pocket, the money, the purchasing power in the pocket of our consumer is limited and is supposed to be constant. Even, I told you, even the richest man of the world, he is having a limited amount of purchasing power in relation to the needs that he is facing. So money income to spend is limited with the consumer. Marginal utility of money is supposed to be given and constant according to Marshallian utility analysis, and LDMU prevails. We have learned this LDMU. LDMU will work. Now let us see this schedule. Let us first understand this schedule. This will make this concept very clear. Let us suppose that constant marginal utility of money, that is MUM, is equal to 1 utils. We have supposed, you can suppose 2 units, 5 units, 10 units, whatever you like. What it means? It means marginal utility of money is 1 utils. Marginal utility of 1 rupee is 1 utils. That means if you are giving 5 rupees to someone, that means you are losing with 5 utils. If you are getting 10 utils from someone, you are obtaining 10 utils. In order to make the things simplify, in order to make it easily understandable for you, I have supposed that MUM is equal to 1 utils. It means marginal utility of rupee 1 is equal to 1 utils. And price of the commodity X, that is PX, is rupees 8. We have supposed that the price of the commodity in the marketplace is rupees 8 per unit. Now units consumed in the first column, MUX in utils in second column, MUX in money, in rupees, in the third column, and PX is in the fourth column. Our consumer is consuming first, second, third, fourth, fifth unit. 5 units of the commodity our consumer is consuming. We know as we go on consuming more and more units of a commodity, the marginal utility of that commodity will go on decreasing. It is actually the LDMU, law of diminishing marginal utility. The first unit of the commodity gave the consumer 12 utils of satisfaction. And when this MUX, that is in utils, is divided by MUM, MUM is 1. So MUX 12 by 1, that remains 12. This 12 in utils and this 12 in rupees. If the marginal utility of money is supposed to be 2, then 12 by 2 it will be 6. 10 by 2 it will be 5. Like this it will move. For simplification, for easy understanding, I have supposed that one marginal utility of money is 1 utils. So second, the consumer is taking the second unit. The second unit is giving him lesser satisfaction according to LDMU, 10 utils. And when this 10 utils is converted into rupees, 10 by 1, that will give us 10 rupees. Third one, again, 8 utils, 8 rupees, 6 utils, 6 rupees, 5 utils, 5 rupees. So, if our consumer is consuming 1 unit, he is getting 12 rupees, we can say. If he 12 rupees, he is getting the satisfaction, and that satisfaction when expressed in rupees term, that utils when expressed in rupees term, that gives us 12 rupees. So by on purchasing, on consuming the first unit, he is getting 12 rupees. Purchasing the second unit, 10 rupees. Third, 8, fourth, 6, and fifth, 5. So these are the rupees that he is obtaining. And for each unit, the consumer has to spend 8 rupees. So see the first case. Our consumer is purchasing the first unit and he got 12 rupees of satisfaction by spending 8 rupees. So 8 rupees our consumer spent and he derived the satisfaction equal to 12 rupees. So our satisfaction obtained is more than our rupees spent. We will go for the second one. LDMU prevails. So our marginal utility of the second unit is 10. In rupees term it is 10 rupees. Our spending for the second unit is 8. So by spending 8 rupees, our consumer is gaining 10 rupees. Again, spending less, gaining more. I am spending 8 rupees, I am gaining 10 rupees. We go for the third one. Third unit, 8 utils, 8 rupees, 8 rupees. So when our consumer is consuming third unit, LDMU prevails. So from 12, 10, 8, and this 8 utils is equivalent to 8 rupees. So by consuming the third unit, the consumer is getting 8 rupees in rupees term. And how much he is spending? He is again spending 8 rupees. So 8 rupees I spent, 8 rupees I got. So it is equilibrium, it is just equality. Now if our consumer goes for the fourth unit, LDMU prevails and our total marginal utility decreases to 6 utils and equivalent to 6 rupees. So what we are finding in the fourth unit? Fourth unit we are finding that if our consumer is consuming fourth unit, he is spending 8 rupees and in return he is getting 6 rupees. Definitely our consumer will not go for that. The consumer is giving the seller 8 rupees and in return the seller is giving 6 rupees. Definitely it is not acceptable. So our consumer, and fifth unit, again it is also, fifth unit gives him 50 utils of marginal utility equivalent to 5 rupees by spending 8 rupees. So definitely our rational consumer will not purchase the fourth unit or fifth unit. In fifth unit, our rational consumer is spending rupees 8 and getting 5 rupees in return. Definitely this rational consumer cannot go for it. So our rational consumer will stick to this 3 unit of consumption of the commodity when the utility that he is getting is equal to the spending. Price of the commodity is 8 and utility he is obtaining in terms of rupees is also 8. Our consumer comes at the position of equilibrium and the state of equilibrium and he maximizes his satisfaction at this very level. Now the same thing, same schedule I have converted into the graph. Along x-axis we are plotting units consumed. Along y-axis we are plotting marginal utility of commodity X in terms of money, that is MUX by MUM. When I say marginal utility of commodity expressed in terms of money, I just mean that it is MUX by MUM. MUX in utils, MUM in utils, but MUM is given and constant. In our example, I have taken it MUX to be as 1 utils. Now, just first unit, 12 rupees, second unit, 10 rupees, second unit, 10 rupees, third unit, 8 rupees, fourth unit, 6 rupees, and fifth unit, 5 rupees. That is, it is the thing. We have joined all this point. We are finding a downward sloping curve. It is actually the marginal utility curve. While I was discussing the LDMU, I told you that the marginal utility curve will be a downward sloping curve. And since that downward sloping curve is divided by the constant denominator, so marginal utility in terms of money, that will also be expressed, also be the shape of a downward sloping curve. This is the MUX by MUM curve. On the other hand, what is the price curve? Price curve is constant. It is 8 rupees everywhere. First unit 8 rupees, second unit 8 rupees, third unit 8, fourth, fifth, sixth. All the units that the consumer is consuming, each unit costs the consumer rupees 8. So it will be a horizontal line parallel to x-axis. This is known as the price line or PX curve. This PX curve and this MUX by MUM curve, wherever it is intersecting, it is the point denoted by E, and at that very point of equilibrium, we are finding that MUX by MUM equals to PX. And E is known as the point of equilibrium or point of maximum satisfaction of a consumer in case of one commodity. We drop a perpendicular from the point E. The foot of the perpendicular will be at 3 units of the commodity consumed. So we can say that our consumer, our rational consumer, he will consume 3 units of a commodity in order to maximize his utility, in order to attain his equilibrium. Some explanation of the graph. Units consumed is measured along x-axis. Yes, units consumed we have measured along x-axis. MUX by MUM of marginal utility is marginal utility of commodity X in terms of money plotted along y-axis. It is MUX by MUM in terms of money is plotted along y-axis. OP is equal to rupees 8 is the given market price, and the dotted line running from P parallel to x-axis denotes the price line. Since price is constant, so the price line will be parallel to x-axis as I have shown by the dotted straight line, horizontal dotted straight line parallel to x-axis. The point of intersection of the MUX by MUM and price line, the point of intersection E between MUX by MUM and PX line denotes the point of equilibrium. Total gain falls if more is purchased. Suppose if the consumer purchases 4th unit, his gain is falling. That means he is spending 8 rupees and he is gaining only 6 rupees. His gain is falling. If he consumes 2nd unit, he is spending 8 rupees, he is getting 10 rupees. So definitely our consumer will not stop over here according to the LDMU, because he is spending only 8 rupees and he is getting how much? 10 rupees. So he will purchase 1 unit more. And when he is purchasing 1 unit more, what is happening? LDMU is working, LDMU is prevailing. By spending 8 rupees, he is getting 8 rupees in return. Okay, I'm done with, I'm quite satisfied with my consumption. So the consumer reaches, total gain falls if more is purchased or even less is purchased. Our hypothetical consumer, who is supposed to be a rational consumer, attains his equilibrium when he consumes 3 units of the commodity X. It's all about the consumer's equilibrium in case of one commodity, dear students. In my next class, I will deal with the consumer's equilibrium in case of 2 commodities. I hope you have understood my lecture. You have taken a screenshot of my writings. Now, if you are facing any sort of problem, feel free to ask me the question. So we are again meeting in our next lecture, that will be the consumer's equilibrium in case of 2 commodities or in case of 2 or more than 2 commodities, which is also known as the law of equimarginal utility. So in the next class, we are again meeting dear students. Till then, goodbye.